What's up, everyone? Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up? Hey, I'm going to be answering your real estate questions today. If you guys can hear me pretty well, give me a thumbs up just to super double check to make sure. If you have questions in regards to real estate, put it in the little question mark box right there. I would love to answer some of you guys, if not everyone. What's up, everyone? Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, if you guys will put your real estate questions in the little chat box, love to answer those for you. I'm setting up myself here. Sorry about that. What's up, everyone? Hey, what's going on? Texas in the house. Guys are checking in. What's up, everyone? Hey, if you have real estate related questions, give me a little in the question mark box. I'm going to be answering as many as I can right before dinner time. Love. Sorry, I'm setting myself up here. What do you guys got? So, interestingly enough, looking up at deals right now, I'm looking up deals on the MLS outside of Nashville because Nashville is really hot right now. But what do you guys want to know? How about what's up? Germany, that's interesting. What's up, everyone? Hey guys, I'm going to be answering your real estate related questions, and if anyone wants to go live and ask me live your question, you're more than welcome to. If not, you're more than welcome to post it in the chat box at the bottom. Let's see what this guy's got to say. What's up, Ecom Dreams? About to get rental number 2. Do I need a special loan, or can I just you can go conventional 20-30% down. If you have one rental property already, you might be able to leverage that rental property towards another rental property. It just really depends on what it is that you're trying to do. Some banks you can leverage rental property against each other, maybe put a Heloc on it, maybe a BRRRR strategy, whatever the case may be for you. Let me know what you end up doing. But you can get hard money, man. There's plenty of different ways. What's up, Eddie? There's plenty of different ways that you can get this done. So if you guys wouldn't mind putting the questions in the chat box, because as people comment and like and whatever, I end up missing those. So please go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's get to the next one. All right, let's see. Put the questions in the chat box, please. All right, so how do you use your Heloc? So this is a question that I get all the time. Felipe, how do you use your Heloc? How are you most productive with it? Hold on, guys. Let me move you over here so that I can see you better. There we go. Okay. So how I use my Heloc, very simply, what I do is I had one rental property, and what I did was I ended up trying really hard, really fast to pay it off cash. Can you guys still hear me? You guys seem a little far away there. Hold up. So I bought the property. I saved up a bunch of money, bought it cash, flipped properties to pay this one property off cash, right? Everyone's like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? Like, you paid off a property cash. It's like, yeah, but what I did was I flipped a 6-unit apartment complex. I flipped a single family home and used all that money to shield myself from taxes by putting it into one rental property. And then what I ended up doing was paying off the property, and then I put a Heloc on that property. Well, here's the difference. You got to know the difference between Heloc and line of credit. A Heloc is a home equity line of credit that you put on your house. A line of credit is something that you put on a asset, like a rental property. So what I did was I went on to the bank, and I told them that I'd like to get a line of credit. Let me see if you can hear me better. I wanted to get into a line of credit on the paid off rental property, and what I did was they gave me 80% loan to value of that rental property. So this mic's really big. Whoa, I won't use it. So they gave me 80% of the value of the property, which then what I do is I use that line of credit to put down payments on rental properties or buy properties cash to flip. And then I use that money to pay off the line of credit that I flipped the property, or if I have a cash flowing producing property, then I use the cash flow to pay off the line of credit. Me being able to reuse the rental income, the Heloc is most important to me. So that's how I use the Heloc. Did I answer your question? If not, let me know. I'll redo it. How to choose a market. This is a really good one. So the way I choose the market that I'm going to invest in is based on my individual goal. So you have to figure out what your goal is so that you know what you want to invest in. What you're not going to do is Sorry, I was getting a text from Christian. So how do I choose my market? So it depends mostly on your goal. What's your goal, right? So like all these Burr strategy, Heloc strategy, all these strategies that are out there are tailored to a certain goal. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about. So let's talk about that. What is your individualized goal? And then what you're going to do is you're going to tailor your strategy to that goal, right? So you're going to say something like, okay, my goal is cash flow, for example, right? So I'm going to pick a market that I can high cash flow, maybe not high equity, because my goal is not to have a high net worth. My goal is to have high cash flow. So I'm going to pick a city or a state that has high cash flow producing properties, but maybe not high equity, right? Maybe it's not growing fast enough. So what I'm doing is I'm picking properties in areas that are high cash flow. So what's your goal and what is your individual strategy is highly dependent on what your goal is. So if you have your why, then that is how you pick the correct market to invest in based on your individualized goals. So like I said, if your goal is, I want to have a high net worth, I want to be a millionaire by 30, then maybe pick a market that might not have the highest cash flow, but you're going to have a high net worth in assets. Now, my cup of tea, what I like to do is I want to have a high cash flow. I don't really care what my net worth is. I'm more focused on my cash flow, and that's what's given me freedom. So that's how I choose a market. I choose a market based on my individualized goal, and I think that's how everyone should do it. So let's see. I'm just going down the list. How many properties do you own, and how did you find your first deal? So I own what's called 18 units, and that's creating single families into duplexes. So I have like 9 single family homes. And I found my very first deal by the grace of God. I found a mobile home that I was able to flip, and he made a very large return on it. And that really expedited my investing career. If you guys have questions, put it in the chat box. If not, I'm not going to be able to see it because the thing goes up so fast. All right, let's go to this one. When refinancing a Burr, does your personal DTI affect your ability to refinance? Absolutely. It's why I do not use the Burr strategy. I like the line of credit strategy, where ultimately I'm able to keep my DTI very low. See, a Burr raises your debt to income because you owe that insurance, or I'm sorry, you owe that debt, that refinance, that mortgage. But if you have a Heloc, your debt to income is only affected by how much is drawn from the line of credit, not the whole. So like when you refinance a property, you're going to get $180,000 cash back. Great, you made $180,000. Now your debt to income, or now your debt is $180,000, right? When you have a Heloc, let's say you have $180,000 on a Heloc, you have access to that Heloc, but if you haven't drawn anything, your DTI is not affected. That was a bomb. Like, think about that. That means you can use that money and it's only counted against you with how much you used. That's amazing. All right, put your questions in the chat box because that's where I see them. And if anyone wants to go live, you're more than welcome to. How do you keep your DTI low while continuing to buy deals? Great question. So again, I go back to my strategy. I use the line of credit strategy. I get a line of credit. I end up buying rental properties. Oh, 1 second. Christian's text me. So the way I do it is I use the line of credit strategy versus the Burr strategy, because the Burr strategy ups your debt to income because you have large debt because you keep refinancing at the top of the market. Yeah, you get some money back, but now you have larger debt, and now you have larger debt. But when you have a line of credit, you only have debt as to how much you're pulling from the line of credit. So for example, your line of credit is not your debt is not being affected by your line of credit as long as you keep paying it off, right? With cash flow from the property. So I run my numbers that way. I use my line of credit, I buy the rental property, I use the cash flow to pay off the line of credit as quick as possible. And that way my debt to income goes down very fast because the line of credit wasn't drawn completely. It was only drawn to a certain amount. Only a certain amount of the line of credit was drawn at one time, not all at one time, right? Does that make sense? The Burr, you get all the money at one time, and then your debt to income goes up. But if you have a line of credit, it only goes up the amount that you use because you have access to that money. It's not debt to you yet, if that makes sense. All right. If you want more clarity, let me know. I'm just going down the list. Do you do any long distance real estate investing? I do. I am closing on a rental property in Georgia. And I picked this market again because it's not really appreciating. It's just high cash flow. You can come in, but it's just high cash flow. Thanks, Boo. Oh, sweet. Okay. Thank you. We still don't have juice?
No, I need to go to Walmart.
All right, so yeah, I do long distance investing. I do it in Augusta, Georgia, which is where I'm going to be investing because I'm going for the high cash flow, no net worth. So the properties are really going like steady and slow. They're not really going up in value, but they have high cash flow, right? For a $40,000 home, I'm getting $400 or $500 in cash flow, but the property doesn't really go up. So what I'm doing is I'm buying it cash with my line of credit, using the cash flow to pay off the line of credit, including other cash flows to pay off the line of credit as quick as possible. And then, I pay off the line of credit, I have a paid off house, and I'm cash flowing. Think about that. No debt to income. Please, guys, research that. Check this out. That good. So, yeah, it's a great strategy. And yes, I do long distance investing. All right, let's get to more questions. I'm just going down the list. So how do you feel about Section 8? I think it's a great strategy to use. Section 8 is great. You can get some top-notch tenants with Section 8. And I believe that there is some great people on Section 8. My family was on Section 8 when my parents got divorced. I'm just going down the list here. Is real estate going to crash? I don't think real estate's going to crash. I think real estate's in cycles. So I think real estate's going to go like this, up and down, up and down. So if you have your goal identified, it doesn't matter what market you're in. You're going to get properties at a certain price, high or low. But honestly, if it's positively affecting your goal, that's how you're going to invest. I don't care if the market goes up or down because I'm investing for cash flow. Now, if my cash flow goes down, then I'm affected. But everyone's always going to need a place to live. So as long as I can pay my rent, I should be fine. Let's see. What percentage of the property do you need to have paid off to be able to get some Heloc? Well, think about this. This is a great question. Think about this, okay? So far, if you'd like answering these questions, please go follow me on YouTube. I'm really trying to reach a certain amount of subscribers. Just go hit that like, comment, and subscribe button on my YouTube. Please just look me up, Felipe Mejia. From here, I also have a mastermind, Rat Race to Fi, where I teach others how to do this. I just love teaching. So what percentage of properties do you need to have paid off to be able to get some Heloc? Good question. So again, I go back to, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it's based on your goal. So for example, if you want to get $10,000 from that line of credit, but your closing costs on the Heloc is $10,000, there's zero there. So you need to have enough equity in the property to reach the goal, how much you want out, plus your closing cost or minus your closing costs, and it still makes sense. So let's say you have $100,000 in equity and you want 50 grand to be able to reuse, right? So then let's say the closing cost is $5,000. So you're now going to get $45,000. Does that, or I'm sorry, 80% of 100,000 is 80,000. Let's say that they're charging you $7,000 or $5,000, whatever. So that drops down how much you're going to get because they're going to take it out of the line of credit. And then, from there, you can decide if it's worth it to you. If there's not enough squeeze on the juice, then it's not worth getting. So think about that because there is some fees that you got to pay to get the line of credit. Let's go to the next question. So I'm going to eat some of the salmon, though, because it looks fantastic. At what stage into the investment do you recommend getting a CPA? Day one that you close on your first rental property. It is imperative that you get steak and fish, for anyone who's wondering, and smashed potatoes for the gains. You get a CPA the moment you close on your first rental property because, for example, what I did was I bought a 6-unit apartment complex on my first deal, and I didn't have a great tax strategy, so my debt to income flew through the roof, and I couldn't buy any more properties. Yeah, I was cash flowing tons of money, but I couldn't buy anything because my debt was so high. So what a good CPA does on your first rental property is you start planning out what you want to do. You start planning out what your goals are, and you start strategizing your taxes towards that. I recommend Anna Klein. Anna Klein. She's my personal CPA. I love her. She's awesome. She keeps me bankable. 1 second. Yeah, so I would recommend getting a CPA immediately. All right, is it easier to cash out refinance after using hard money to acquire an opposed to just purchasing an investment property traditionally? Okay, so hard money is an interesting topic. I go back to the same thing. It depends on your goals. See, people are asking all these questions, and half the time, I believe people don't have answers to their questions because they haven't identified their goal. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to cash flow? Are you trying to flip? What is your goal? And that's going to tell you whether you want to use hard money, whether you want to use a line of credit, whether you want to use the BRRRR strategy. Your goal is going to solve like 30% of your questions, because does it positively affect your goal or does it not? And that's the key. The key is your goal being positively affected or negatively affected by the decision you're making in real estate? Your goal is going to identify who you use as a contractor. Do you use a contractor? Your goal is going to be affected every single step of the way of real estate. What's your why? I'll give you an example. Mine is cash flow. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. I don't care about net worth. I don't care how fat a check I have in the bank. I don't care about none of that. I care about cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. So, for example, does it make sense for me to use hard money? Think about it. I'll let you think about it while I chew. Let's start a conversation. Put it in the chat. If my goal is cash flow, does it make sense to use hard money? No, it doesn't. It makes sense for me to use bank financing to get the highest cash flow, the best rates. Hard money would be good if you're looking for net worth or if you're looking to flip properties. Quick, in and out, boom, boom, boom. But when you have a cash flow goal, your goal is fine to just use bank financing, because my goal personally is to keep the cost down and cash flow high. I don't care about getting 20 rental properties that are going to cash flow 20,000. Why not get 10 rental properties that'll cash flow 20,000? Less debt, less net worth, yeah, sure, but I also have a high cash flow. Here's my goal. Does that make sense? All right, let me get to the next one. Sorry. Ooh, I like this question. I really like this question. Do you guys want to know what I think about 15-year and 30-year note? I love this question. All right, everyone put it real quick. Let's vote. Are you 15-year or 30-year note? What do you think? Just put it in the comment box. Just put it in the comment and then I'll answer. 15-year or 30? Come on. What do you guys think? 15-year or 30? What do you guys think? Okay, we got some 15. Come on. 30. Come on. We don't want to ruin the live. $30, 15. Okay, come on, keep going. What do you think? 20? Okay. Here's my answer. It's going to blow everyone away. I always choose a 30-year mortgage. Here's why. I'm doing a 30-year mortgage because my cash flow is higher. Great. But here's the thing. I can treat a 30-year mortgage like a 15-year mortgage if I want to. I can treat my 30-year mortgage like a 15-year mortgage just using an amortized schedule calculator on the computer and figuring out what I need to pay. But if I have a 15-year mortgage, I cannot treat that like a 30-year mortgage. Let's say 1 month I don't have tenants. 1 month I don't have tenants. I go back to paying a smaller mortgage that month because that's all I have to pay. But every other month I treat it like a 15-year mortgage, right? But you can't get that with a 15-year mortgage. If you don't have tenants on that 15-year mortgage, one of those months, you still got that high income or a high mortgage. A 15 gives you options. A 15 doesn't. So that's my take on that. Everyone asks this, can I make a video that goes into greater details between the BRRRR and the Heloc? Okay, let's talk about that. Really simple, let's use food. This is the BRRRR strategy. This piece of meat is the BRRRR strategy. Okay. I got my money back. I got the BRRRR back, right? I BRRRR'd a property, gave me my money back. Let's say that I use that BRRRR into 3 pieces. 1, 2, and 3. 3 pieces. Let's say I buy 3 rental properties with that BRRRR. This is going to blow your mind. Let's say I use these 3 pieces, right? I buy 1 property with the BRRRR deal. Gone. Cool. I bought another rental property. Next one. Listen. I bought another rental property, but the meat's gone. I buy 1 more property. Gone. What's cool is, okay, great. I got my money from my BRRRR, got 3 pieces of meat, I bought 3 properties. Great, money's gone, right? With a Heloc, the cash flow from those properties pays off my Heloc, and I can reuse that. So I can reuse that meat. Now I get now I get 3 pieces back. Again, off of 1 Heloc. I can keep using the Heloc. You cannot keep using the BRRRR. You get a BRRRR, you get your money, you buy a property. Cool, but the money's gone. In a Heloc, I pay the money back with cash flow or whatever, and you don't even have to pay the full thing off. You just pay back as much as you want to reuse, right? Back and reuse it again and again and again. Can't do that with a BRRRR. Make sense? So use the Heloc. I'm texting Jose. What up, friend? I'm literally texting you on my computer. So that's why I like the Heloc strategy better than the BRRRR. For example, my buddy Jose Provecho, he just bought 10 units. Detroit investor. Y'all, Detroit investor is a G. She's a gangster. I wish she would use this strategy. So my buddy Jose just bought 10 rental properties at one time. So a bunch of money. He's going to fix them all up. What do you guys think he should do? Should he BRRRR or should he Heloc? I would put Helocs on those rental properties and then use that money as I need it. If he BRRRRs all at the same time, he's going to have to pay interest on all of that money immediately. With a Heloc, now he's got time to figure out what he wants to do with it. Same amount of access as a BRRRR. Okay, Money Big said, but the BRRRR you refi, you get your down payment back. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's say he buys a property and he only gets 20% good deal. But then he spends $7,000 or $8,000 in refinancing the property. That cuts into that 20%. Now you're saying, well, Felipe, it so does on the HELOC. Yeah, great. But with your BRRRR, you can only use it once. With a HELOC, you can use it over and over and over again when you pay it off. The HELOC strategy is reusable. The BRRRR strategy, you can do it once. You buy a property, you refinance that property, you get your money back. Then you use that money again to buy another property, and now you have higher. Use the 70% rule on the BRRRR. Yeah, the 70% rule would be a little better. Now, does that positively or negatively affect your goal? My goal is cash flow. So everyone tell me, does the BRRRR strategy affect my goal positively or negatively? It negatively does. Here's a good one. I only find high cash flow in bad neighborhoods would be a best good area to invest. So that's true. High cash flow is in low neighborhoods, but that's in high metropolitan areas. What if you went to like Melbourne, Florida, or like Pine Bluff, Arkansas, right? It's not bad areas, it's just not growing areas, right? Is this just in Detroit where you can only HELOC your primary? Well, bankers are like cookie cutters and sometimes like kind of dumb. I found out that I kept saying, hey, can I get a HELOC on a rental property? And they're like, no, you can't. And they're right, because a home equity line of credit is on your home. A line of credit is leveraged against an asset like a rental property. So you literally have to say line of credit, and then they type that in and then they get their answer. They're gonna type in HELOC, and no, you can't put a HELOC on a rental property because that's not where you live. So they don't want to get in trouble. So Detroit investors say, I want a line of credit on a rental property. I know, it's dumb, but it is what it is. Yes, so back to the question. High cash flowing areas in bad neighborhoods. Typically, yes. Or not just bad neighborhoods / not net worth areas. Places that aren't growing exponentially. That's where I would invest if I were you. I would invest in high cash flow areas that are basically standing still. Like I said, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, or Augusta, Georgia, or random little cities that just aren't growing, but people live there because of whatever reason. So that's it. Let's see. Okay, here's a good question. How do you find your contractors, inspectors, property managers in the long distance states you invest in? Great question. This is an awesome question. So one of the first things that I do is I start building my team wherever I'm going to invest, but I'm building relationships. For example, I'm trying to find good realtors, because a good realtor is going to know their way around town, right? It's like a good Uber, right? If you get the good Ubers, man, they tell you where you can eat. So basically, we should coin that term. Your team needs to be the best Uber, right? Because like when you go to a new city, you get an Uber, and if you get the new guy, he might not know the city. But if you get a good Uber that's been there for a while, he's going to tell you what tacos to go eat. Make sense? So it's the same concept with how I find all these things. I basically just network my way through. The best top of the line is getting a great property management company. If you can make friends with a great property management company, you are going to crush it. Seriously, you're going to crush it. So that's very, very, very important. The way I find all these things right here is not trying to find them individually. It's by finding one person that can find me all of those that's already in their tool belt. Don't try to remake the wheel. Just go ahead and have someone that already has that. For example, if you want to come to Nashville, I already have all those. You can reach out to me. But if you're going to invest in like Augusta, Georgia, or Pine Bluff, Arkansas, or these places, find a property manager that's in that area, make friends with them, call a bunch of them and see who's nice. They're going to have the best of these. Make sense? All right, let's get to another one. Okay, would you recommend using a HELOC for a down payment on a new property? Of course I would. You get a HELOC. let's say that you have a $50,000 HELOC. Your new rental property is $20,000. You have your money in the bank. You're not going to touch it. You're going to go to the bank. You're going to draw $20,000 from your HELOC. You're going to put that as down payment, right? That HELOC has been sitting for, let's say, 2 months because you couldn't find a deal. You weren't paying interest on that money until you used it, and you only pay interest on the amount that you use, not the whole HELOC. In the BRRRR strategy, you got to pay immediately once you get that BRRRR money. You got to start paying interest on it, and you can't reuse it. So with the HELOC, you get that money, you use that HELOC money to buy a rental property, let's say $20,000. You start paying interest on that $20,000, and that cash flow from that property, you use that cash flow to pay off the HELOC however long it takes, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, a year, or you can help attack it by your own money, right? So you're not paying interest on it, whatever best suits you. Or if the interest on the HELOC plus the mortgage payment is being paid off and you still have cash flow, you just bought a rental property with your own money as your own bank, or I'm sorry, with OPM, with the bank's money's HELOC, leveraged against your house, of course, but none of your own physical cash. And if the cash flow is paying off the house and the HELOC, then you're crushing it, right? And then you can start attacking that HELOC if you want. Then you pay that $20,000 off, you get to reuse that $20,000 for another one. It's really like a snowball effect. One, you buy one property, you pay off the HELOC, and then you buy 2 properties, and then those 2 properties are attacking the HELOC, and then you buy a third one, and then those 3 properties are paying off the HELOC, and then eventually you're paying off the HELOC faster because all these properties as cash flow is paying off the HELOC, and then you really get the ball rolling. Imagine 10 properties, and then the HELOC, you just keep using that same HELOC and those same cash flow to pay off that HELOC, and then over and over and over, and then it just goes really, really fast. I like this strategy because it also keeps you in your lane. This strategy won't allow you to grow too fast where you outgrow yourself or you start drowning because you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. With the HELOC strategy, the cash flow is paying off the HELOC. It's only allowing you to grow as fast as you can, if that makes sense. So I really like that. Think about what I just said, and it'll make sense. Let's see, what other questions are on here? Let's see. This is a good one. How much do I keep in reserves? You'd be surprised. I keep nothing in reserve. Remember, I have a HELOC, 6-figure plus HELOC. So if anything ever happens, I just draw it from my HELOC and then I use cash flow to pay it off. Plain and simple. Is it better to house hack or invest out of state? I think it's better to invest or house hack because you're paying down your personal loan. Someone else is doing it. It's a way to get started in real estate without having to have tons of rental property. So that's what I would do. Guys, I'm about to jump off this live. Thank you so much for jumping on here. Please go follow me on YouTube. Go follow me on, sorry, there's a thing here. Yeah, go follow me on YouTube. My mastermind, obviously, Rat Race to Fi. It's in my link. Laugh out loud, me either. I use credit cards as reserves. Yeah, same thing. I don't keep any in reserves. All my cash is going to work. My cash don't pay no rent. My cash got to go out there and pay them bills. I don't know what y'all think this is. My cash got to go pay them bills. So please go follow me on YouTube. Where I mentor at. Where I mentor is Rat Race to Fi. Go follow me at Rat Race to Fi. You can find the link in my bio. You guys know that I've started an e-commerce business, so that's doing really, really well. If you guys want to know more about that, I can show you on my computer. Just let me know. If you guys want to learn how to do that, shoot me a DM. If you want to get in on my mastermind, shoot me a DM. We actually have a private event in February in Florida where we've rented this muck mansion. So super excited about that. Let me know what else I can do for you guys. Again, follow me on YouTube, please. Follow me. And then, like I said, Rat Race to Fi is where I mastermind. Teaching e-commerce is another passion that I've really started getting into. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Guys, I recently purchased a credit repair company, very expensive, but that's going to be rolling out in January. So that's coming on there. If you have any questions, just shoot me a DM. I'd love to help. Thank you so much. Out of here. Thanks, guys.